he hasn't done the things he said he would do. Let me be clear about this. He was going to settle the wars in both Gaza and Ukraine before he even took office the second time. They both press on. We don't have written trade agreements from all of these agreements around the country. He said he was going to bring prices of drugs down 1,500%. I don't have any drug company paying me for the medications my doctor has me on, which is what that would mean. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. I mean, it's hard, I know, for many people to understand this. How could someone become president of the United States who is appallingly ignorant, who doesn't know anything about geopolitical affairs? What he does know is how to pressure people to do what he wants to do.
Let's pursue this and try and see if we can understand better what's going on here. One interpretation is rests on what the sociologists now call the attention economy. That is to say, is Donald Trump diverting attention with social media posts and lots of noise while quietly pausing a £31 billion tech prosperity deal into the UK? Remember Keir Starmer saying that the agreement was a generational step change in our relationship with the United States when it was announced during Mr. Trump's state visit. Now, that's been put on ice by Washington, and it's one of a number of things that Donald Trump may be doing that he perhaps doesn't want everybody to pay attention to, and maybe this is one way of making sure that we are paying attention to the things that perhaps matter less. But let's see. Let's talk to David Cay Johnston, investigative journalist and the author of It's Even Worse Than You Think, What the Trump Administration is Doing to America, and also the making of Donald Trump. Good morning, Mr. Johnston.
Well, hello, Trevor. Good to be with you.
What do you make of this? Is my supposition about Donald Trump occupying the high ground on the attention economy one that makes sense to you?
Yes. Donald, it's important to understand, and I've covered Donald for 37 years. I was the first person to write about him becoming president. That was in 1988. And he's threatened to sue me innumerable times, but never has, because he knows I can back up everything I write. Donald doesn't know anything about the issues that he needs to know about as president of the United States. He is just an appallingly ignorant man. One of his professors referred to him as the worst student he ever had. And so pausing this supposed high-tech trade agreement with the UK, for example, there is no agreement. There's talks. Trump was supposed to make a whole bunch of deals around the world in 90 days early in his administration. There have been virtually none. And all of this goes to the fact that Donald is a con artist. He's, in my view, the great, and I've gotten written stories that sent many con artists to prison over the years. Donald is, I believe, the greatest con artist in the history of the world. I don't know anyone in his league in terms of fooling people, getting them to suspend their critical judgment and buy his nonsense.
Well, David, let me just first of all say that your opinions are made absolutely clear to listeners. This is not necessarily the opinion of the Times newspaper or Times radio. But, lots of things are said about Donald Trump. But number one, he is very wealthy. He has made a lot of money. He's done a lot of deals. Some of them, a lot of deals have fallen apart. He also became president of the United States in a democracy twice. This is, one can call him all sorts of names, but the man has done the things that he said he would do.
Actually, Trevor, he hasn't done the things he said he would do. Let me be clear about this. He was going to settle the wars in both Gaza and Ukraine before he even took office the second time. They both press on. We don't have written trade agreements from all of these agreements around the country. He said he was going to bring prices of drugs down 1,500%. I don't have any drug company paying me for the medications my doctor has me on, which is what that would mean. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. I mean, it's hard, I know, for many people to understand this. How could someone become president of the United States who is appallingly ignorant, who doesn't know anything about geopolitical affairs. What he does know is how to pressure people to do what he wants to do. You mentioned in your previous segment with Professor Dershowitz, and I'm a professor of law as Alan is, that the two American TV networks he'd won cases against them. He did not win cases against them. They settled because they couldn't get regulatory approvals they needed from his administration unless they paid him. There's a word for that. We call it extortion.
All of that said, he still seems to be pretty resilient. His base, though people say it's fraying at the edges or splitting and so on, still appears to be ready to vote for him. Though, as far as we know, as far as the Constitution says, they won't have an opportunity to vote for him again as president. One of the things that concerns us here, of course, is that we have to have a new ambassador in Washington. If you were giving some advice to our Prime Minister about who would best get along with him, given all the things you said about him, who would be in the best interests of the United Kingdom, or what type of person would be in the best interests of the United Kingdom to put in that embassy in Massachusetts Avenue?
The smartest appointment Keir Starmer could make would be someone who is masterful at flattering someone. I've negotiated with Donald many, many times and come away every time with more than I thought I would. And it's because Donald is so subject to flattery. Because of the horrible upbringing he has no empathy for others. He's an empty vessel, desperate for approval and some kind of external validation. So if you're really good at how to flatter Donald, you can manipulate him, you can pull him away from things that would be damaging to the United Kingdom. That should be the overriding sense. And it requires someone who can, at least in the course of a transaction, sublimate their ego when Donald becomes insulting and difficult and petulant to the mission.
Thank you, David. That was David Cay Johnston, clearly not a fan, but the author of The Making of Donald Trump.
There was some killing going on that shouldn't have happened, and we appreciate them working. In a little while, you'll be seeing I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth, literally. They put words in my mouth. They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something. So we'll be bringing that lawsuit. A lot of people are asking, when are you bringing that lawsuit? Even the media can't believe that one. They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say. And the beautiful words that I said, right? The beautiful words, talking about patriotism and all of the good things that I said, they didn't say that, but they put terrible words. They actually have me speaking with words that I never said, and they got caught because I believe somebody at BBC said, this is so bad, it has to be reported. That's called fake news. So we'll be filing that suit probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning. So we have to get them on the same page, but I think that's working along. Very good talk.